Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest is Chad Adcox, football coach and athletic director of Sandia High School. And Chad, what a year! You and I spoke earlier in the year, and just it's kind of a magical year. You look at your schedule. When I talked to you, you said, "Look, I have some teams that are probably not top teams, and well, you won them. That's the main thing."
Yeah, no, it's been a great year. First off, thanks for having me. It's been a long time since I got to come on the show. It's been a fun year this year. We were able to take care of business on teams that I thought, that we should win. And then, the games that were kind of coin flip games, these last few, especially in district, were going to be tough ones. And they've all been tough, but we've been able to come out on the right side of the scoreboard. So, good for us.
And I'll go back. I think the week I talked to you was the week you were going to play Volcano Vista, and you basically, all coaches, you get your team prepared, but you can't sometimes prepare your team for speed and what's still. And what did you learn from that Volcano Vista game? I guess.
I guess the good thing I feel like that we learned against Volcano was that we can compete with the top tier teams. We can compete with those guys. We just didn't do it consistently enough in that game. And props to Volcano. They're a great team and have been good for a long time now. But we showed that we could compete with them, and we just needed to do that. And I felt like since that game, that's what we've done is we've been able to consistently, be good on all three phases of the game, and that's been able to help us out, getting these wins because they've all been close. If you look, 7 points, 8 points. They're all basically one-score games. So that definitely helped us. I think it got us in the right mindset moving forward.
And I think the other one, correct me if I'm wrong, but you learned to win with with adversity. Adversity. You had your. We'll just speak about the game. I think that Friday night was maybe the best My 50 game of the year. It was excitement.
It was a fun one. We've definitely had to deal with some adversity this year. From guys not or being injured, and having to play some guys that weren't expected to play. Having to change a little bit of our philosophy on defense. Playing a lot more man than we usually ever play. We usually play a lot of zone, but we've been playing a lot of man lately, and then. But the kids, I tell them all the time that adversity is part of life, and, it's that old cliche, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up, and, when it happens, it's okay. It's okay that things went wrong. It's what did you do and what do you learn from it that's going to help you moving forward, and, I felt like the kids, for the most part, pretty much bought into that.
Well, that Friday night game, the difference about me now and maybe 7 years ago is I enjoy watching the games on Friday night. So I used to come out to the games and stuff, but on Friday night we got games on Channel 26 and we got game but what a first half! Let's just speak of. What an ending of the first half.
Yeah.
And what was your thoughts on the play, and what did you think?
So there at the end of the half, we told our DBs, just keep everything underneath you, don't let nothing over the top. And unfortunately, our DB kind of bit on the little stick move that the guy ran before he ran the post, and then so we were in bad position. And yeah, that was crazy, and I was like, oh, we'll tackle him, and then he just kept running, and then I was down at the other end because I was behind the offense, so I'm just like, oh, we'll get him, and then eventually I see that, he's down there by the end zone, I see that we have the ball, and I don't really know what happened, and then the funny thing I remember, it reminded me of the old college game, because I look out, and all of a sudden the band's running onto the field, so I'm like, well, I guess that's halftime, but the ref's like, no, wait, and so, I had to wait till, luckily they finally said halftime, and we got, I guess he's down at the 2. They never did tell us if we got the ball or he was down or what. So, but the half was over, so it worked out in our favor.
Well, anybody that watched it, it was because I think Aaron was on the replay of it, but it was from a heartbreaker from Farmington. Okay, yeah. It was great for y'all. It was one of those 50-50 calls, but. Yeah. The end zone, it looked like he got over, but he fumbled the ball, and basically, probably what happened, the ref wasn't in a position. But
that would probably be my guess, yeah.
And then you go into halftime, but, that you look back, that was a big play for y'all.
Huge. And I'm sure if I was to talk to Coach Dalton, and he probably went home and watched that film, he probably said, guys, we are just like inches away from that game going a different direction. Because, I mean, they were right there. They took the lead late. They were right there at the end of the half. You know, things just didn't quite bounce their way. You know, so I'm sure he was very, you know, positive with his team about that. They played well, and they could have won that game, you know, and all rights they should have. I wouldn't say they should have, but they could have.
If that call could have changed the dynamics of what happened in the second half. But then the second half, you know, you lose your running back.
Yeah.
But I think he's a sophomore, sophomore comes in.
He's a junior.
He's a junior. He comes in, and it's like, I think something that I've learned from Manzano when you coached at Manzano, next man up. You know, next man up.
Always got to have that philosophy, next man up. You know, never know when your opportunities going to come knocking, and you just got to be ready. And Cyrus has done that twice this year. You know, against West Mesa, we were playing them, and our running back cramped up, and we had to take him out. And Cyrus came in the whole last series, I think he had 13 carries in the last series. So I mean, he stepped up before. And he runs hard, you know. I probably need to give that kid more carries. You know, he's kind of like our hammer guy. He like gets in there and pounds the rock, where Maldonado's more of our big play guy who can get out and run. Yeah, so he stepped up, and you know, the second half was a crazy roller coaster of emotions, because I mean, you know, we'd kind of taken control in the second half. We scored.
Hey, you go 27-8.
Yeah, 27-6. We're up with 8 minutes left, feeling pretty good. We tell everybody just, you know, keep them underneath, don't let them score quick. And sure enough, to their credit, you know, that quarterback can throw it, man. I mean, I think he threw a 50-yard pass on that one, and our safety said, I didn't think he could throw it that far, and it got over his head. And next thing you know, touchdown. We go 3 and out. We miss. We have a bad punt that goes 5 yards or something like that, and touchdown again. And we're still okay, but then we go 3 and out again, punt it away. They got a lot of clock left. They score, take the lead. And luckily, you know, we had time left on the clock where we could go down and make a play, and we did, to take the lead back, and then held on for dear life there at the end.
I tell you, you know, again, you it's like you got to play 4 quarters. You got to play the whole. You got to play the whole game. I mean, and that was a perfect example. But again, the thing that is important, you came out with a win.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the important thing was we did get the win, and it's in district, and that's a huge one for us. But, you know, the thing I hope that the team learned is that you can never count a team out, you know, and that's a valuable lesson to learn, especially going into the playoffs, because everybody, you know, you're going to face is going to be good. And so you can never take your foot off the gas. You got to keep going until that clock says 0. So I think it was a good lesson to learn now. Hopefully if we're in that situation again, we know that, hey, we got to finish until that clock reaches 0.
We're going to go to the Evergard top 10 plays of the week, and Evergard Roofing top 10 plays of the week, and come back and talk more about Sandia football and also the big game this week.
Now King Mead could play there to receive it by Winham. McConnell, Julian Lovato. And here's Carson McConnell taking the first shot of the game. It sails over the keeper. Second chance opportunity is in. And it's the freshman Nico Reyes.
Looking, fires, and it's picked off. It's an interception. Volcano Vista gets the first turnover of the game as it's a pick for Thomas Pettis, the junior.
Rivera looking left. He's got a guy. Oh, one-handed snag. What a catch there.
Stosa is able to get that one from deep into the wall. Hessinger elevated and put that one right down.
Elijah Bird looks left.
and he caught it, and he's still in bounds. He's still going. That was Ricky Martinez. Good play there. I think the defense thought he was out of bounds or something because he stopped playing. That's
with two teams that run the ball well, you could make the argument that the difference tonight was Hatch. Back to Mbueha on the ground, looking for that third tutty. Now he cuts back towards the middle of the field, still on his feet, and Mbueha's in! That's another angry run, and it's a Cleveland Storm dagger. Third touchdown of the night for Harris Mbueha. Flakes looking for his favorite target, and it's intercepted, and nothing but green in front. It's a pick six for Carter Spiegel. Touchdown, Chargers. He was trying to go to Cox Liggins, and
Siebel blitz. It's to Villalobos, and Villalobos is breaking through. He's back through at the 20, the 10. Villalobos with another giant run. This one. Cougars trying to get this offense cooking. Noah Carroll on the design quarterback keeper. Noah Carroll exploding through. He's got Renfro trying to chase him down from below, but Noah Carroll will win the race.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hey, welcome back, Steve Davis Show. We got Chad Adcox, the head football coach at Sandia High School and also the athletic director. And you know, I wanted to speak on the athletic director. I want tough week in the last week. So now you got a big emotional game. We're playing La Cueva for the district, for the district championship for the district this week. But what a tragedy last week.
Yeah, we had a tough week there, for the Sandia Matadors with our volleyball girls, and I think it's just a reminder that, man, life is so precious. You just gotta enjoy it, every chance you can, and you just never know when it's gonna be gone. And for those two girls, the one lost her mom, and the other, one had to have surgery. It was a tough week for them. The volleyball team's really rallied around them, done a great job with those girls, and really trying to help support them. And the Sandia community's been really good about, reaching out and seeing if there's anything they can do to help us out. So it was definitely a tough week, but just like we talked a minute ago about adversity, the girls, to their credit, they weren't sure if they wanted to play it happened on a Monday and they had to play that Tuesday, and they weren't sure if they were going to play, but the girls thought the best way they could honor their teammates was to go play the game up in Farmington, which they did, and did really well. So yeah, but they're doing better.
Well, what caught my attention, there was a story last night on the news, is your rivalries, El Dorado and also La Cueva, they're actually getting behind to help support the families, and that's what it's all about.
Oh, 100%. I always think that you have these rivalries, and when you're playing them, it means something, but once you get away from that game, that 2 hours that it happens, we're all just people trying to, make a better life. And, whether you're a La Cueva, El Dorado, Sandia grad, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're all part of the Albuquerque community. Let's make it the best place we can.
And then the Volleyball Booster Club is running a Go Fund. So anybody that has, this is a tragic thing. If anybody can, and truthfully, $5, $10, $100, whatever it is, can really help these families.
Oh, 100%. They have a massive loss, and there's going to be some financial burden to it. The volleyball team has has done that GoFundMe. So anybody that can just help donate, like you said, $5, $10, it all adds up. It's all there to help, and whatever you can do to help these poor.
Here it is, right up here.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever you can do to help these young ladies, like I said, the ones that had to have surgery, the one lost her mom. So I mean, it's so tragic, So whatever we can do to help out is huge.
Well, I mean, I know being an athletic director, you wear two hats a lot of times. You're the head coach and also the athletic director. Well, this week is is a special week. I mean, there's not any bigger rivalry. I mean, you'll have natural rivalries between
Right.
El Dorado and then also La Cueva, but La Cueva's probably one of your biggest rivalries.
Yeah, I mean, at least in football, it's tough to call a rivalry. I mean, no offense to the former Sandia Matadors, but I mean, they've kind of kicked our butts for years. I mean, actually, I went and looked it up before I talked to the team on Monday morning, and the last time Sandia beat La Cueva in football was 2013. It's been 10 years. It's been a long time.
So there's no pressure on you, huh?
Yeah, there's no pressure. So I mean, it's tough to call it a rivalry, other than they're the team down the road, from us a little bit. But we have an opportunity to do something that has not been done at Sandia in the last 10 years. Coach Barker and that state team that was the state runner-up that year in 2013 was the last time that they beat La Cueva, and they've beaten us every year. So we got an opportunity to go out and earn some respect. I talked to the kids about it last week, that we needed to earn respect, and really we got a chance to do it again with these guys. Win or lose, just go play well and show that we're a team that belongs up here at the top, and that's what we're hoping to do.
I've got to watch the last two games and watched them pretty close. And the thing that impresses me about your team is you have to go out and beat them. Okay, they're well prepared. That's you and your coaching staff. They're very well prepared, but they don't make a lot of mistakes. I mean, from you probably see a mistake every time on the court on the field. So.
We do a lot. The kids really do a great job of buying into the game plan and doing what we tell them to do. They've done a terrific job this year. I was actually yesterday I was working on the academic all district stuff, and it's a pretty good correlation that we're able to do the things we do, because when I was doing that, we had 7 kids that are all starters on the football team, all 4.0, and I had 3 others that were 3.8 or higher. So I mean, all those kids are starters, and they're all very high GPA kids. So it makes sense that they can do these things on the field, because they're great academic kids as well.
All right, we're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about a couple of your players, and we're going to talk about your son. So I know that you what a performance he had
He had a great game
on Friday night.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. Special guest again is Chad Adcox, head football coach at Sandia High School and also athletic director. And let's talk, I've been coming up to Sandia and kind of watching and getting to know a lot of the kids and everything, but the sharing of athletes, I mean, and I just want to make sure I say Thomas. You can
Thomas Adams.
Thomas Adams. What a great young man.
Oh, that kid, you talk about the Energizer Bunny. There's been many a days where that kid will go to football practice in the morning. He'll go to lunchtime and shoot around, and then he'll go to practice for basketball after school. And then I'll still see him at like a volleyball game that night, supporting the girls. But he just never seems to run out of steam. But he's one of our main guys for football, and he's obviously one of the main guys for them on basketball. So, he's been a heck of a two-sport athlete for us. Great young man, high GPA kid, great kid.
Well, he hurt his ankle a couple of weeks ago and he's out. He still didn't miss practice like a lot of kids do. He was still there, helping, Coach Brown run practice and just unbelievable, besides just if you talk to the young man, it just brings good things.
Yeah, no, same thing for us. He hurt his ankle in the game. He was at practice every day, just sat off to the side. I really didn't think he was going to play that week. And then he's like, no, I'll be ready, coach. And sure enough, he was, and he had a great game against Monzano that week. Had a huge game this last week. He had 2 picks. He really helps us because the type of defense we like to run, we're able to use him in a, mixture of pass rush plus being able to play coverage on guys because he uses that basketball background. We can have him guard people one-on-one. And that, that's really a big help for us.
Well, and then, I said you have 2 hats. We actually have 3 hats. You're a parent coaching your son, and I'll give him the accolades. What a great game he played on Friday night.
He did. He had 11 catches that night. He's done such an awesome job this year for us. He gets double teamed a lot, and people don't see it, but that's been a good thing for us because that's opened up our other receivers. Joey Harris has had some huge games against West Mesa, had 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards, had a bunch of yards against El Dorado as well. And then the other night, I think he ended up with 90 yards at the end. He had that huge catch at the very end on the last drive that set us up to go ahead on the touchdown. So, it's been so much fun being able to coach all these kids, but it's been extra special being able to coach my own son, his last year playing football.
Well, I tell you, that's a hard thing to do because and I know that I've coached with coaches that had their sons play with them, and you got the whole team to work out, and you got your feelings, and then you got to deal with your wife on the
that is true
on the other side of it. But the thing about this year is I said it at the beginning of the show is that. What a year. I mean, this is like a magical year, magical run.
It has been for sure, and my son, I remember at the start of the year, he's like, no, Dad, we're gonna be right there. And I'm kind of a negative guy by nature. And you can go clear back to my Monzano days, even the year we were undefeated in the state championship, every week I'd be like, I don't know if we're going to get this one. Like, I'm just kind of a pessimist, I guess. The glass half.
Well, you're
empty kinda
realistic.
guy.
I mean,
that's the way I like to say realistic.
Yeah.
My wife tells me I'm a pessimist. So, but it has been a great year. And when I look back last year, we lost 4 games. We lost 6 total, but we lost 4 of those games by 7 points or less. So, I mean, it was really just a couple things didn't go our way. Where this year, those things are kind of going our ways. And sometimes I think that's just kind of the way football works. You gotta learn to win. And when I took over Sandia, we hadn't won a lot of games. And so we've had to learn to win consistently. And that's one of the things I feel like this team has done is we've been able to learn how to win, just not on a Friday night, but it's all the things before that. It's winning in the weight room in the off season. It's winning in the classroom, during the day. It's winning at practice at 6:30 in the morning, and then those wins come on Friday night.
Well, going to practice and hearing Danny Brown, and he's speaking, it seems that the football goes good. The whole school year goes well.
Yeah.
I mean, and so it's contagious with he's got a young basketball team, but they're playing above, and at this level they're playing very well.
No, you definitely know. You learn early on as the head football coach at any high school that you're the poster for the sports program. 1, you're the first one, and 2, you're usually the biggest sports program in the school. So as you go, a lot of times the sports in the rest of the year will go. If you can have a good, successful season, that gets people excited when it comes to basketball and volleyball and soccer and all those things. And so, I mean, I definitely think it's good to be out front for a change. Usually these last few years we haven't been, but this year, playing really well, and hopefully we can keep going. We got 2 more games in the regular season and see what happens after that.
Well, Proview's done something that with game vision that's never happened, that I know that has ever happened, is that they got student athletes doing the C team and JV games.
Oh, it's awesome.
Awesome. I mean, how neat is that?
I love it. I mean, to me, the more we can promote kids, the better. I really think the inability of kids to participate in sports has really just hurt us as a society. Not to be on a soapbox, but I just feel like the more kids we can get in athletics and the more we can promote them and make it fun for the kids, like I am 100% behind it. So if we can get a C team on Game Vision on a Tuesday, heck yeah, let's do it, man. That's awesome.
Well, I tell you, and that's something that we're working on, that we're going to hopefully in the future, in the near future, is that Sandia will have a student, student people that will be announcing games.
Yeah, broadcast games. I'm 100% for it. I know yesterday La Cueva asked for our roster. They were going to do the JV game yesterday, and they asked me for the C team one today. So, I mean, like I said, whatever we can do to help promote athletes and young men out there working hard, and women.
So I don't think that's ever happened, but anyway, that was awesome. But anyway, I just want to, big week.
Big week.
Hey, and congratulations on no matter what happens this weekend. And thanks for coming on the Steve Davis Show.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.